Hello and welcome to our Meet the Skincare Entrepreneur series. In this interview, I'm going to speak to Khulan Davaadorj, who's the CEO of Lhamour Skincare, the first organic skincare brand ever to be founded in Mongolia. Now, Khulan started studying with Formula Botanica back in 2014, and 4 years later, she has what is becoming a global empire. So it's a real pleasure for me today to speak to Khulan. So, hi Khulan, it's so lovely to see you on this video. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so happy.
It's a real pleasure because obviously we've been working together for the last 4 years. You've been with Formula Botanica since 2014, 15, and it's been so exciting to watch your growth. So what I want to do today is talk a little bit about where you're at the moment and how you've got there. So can you give us a snapshot of Lhamour as it currently stands today? You know, what are you doing? How many people work with you? Where are you selling? Basically a snapshot of what's happening.
Yes, basically the last 4 years have been phenomenal. It has been such a crazy roller coaster, life-changing experience ever since I decided to do natural skincare products in Mongolia and have taken Formula Botanica, which was my main foundation to create all the formulations. I started from home in my kitchen alone, with basically nobody really understanding what I was trying to do. It was more of a trying to solve my own skin problems because for the first time in my life, I had allergies, I had skin rashes when I came to Mongolia due to the extreme climate, to the dry climate, to the water, the air, the dust, the pollution, everything, you name it. Um, but eventually, within the 4 years, it just turned out to be not just that I wanted to make products that are healthy and of high quality, but it was more. It turned into something so much greater than I ever thought, because it really turned into a startup that shows the country that we don't necessarily only need to focus on one thing, which is mining at this point, or just one sector. It can be done even if you start with little things, like in my case, a lip balm and a soap and a bath bomb and a baby balm or whatever. But it can really help diversify the country. It can spark so much inspiration and motivation for young people because before I started my work in Mongolia, business was more seen as by the older people, by experienced people. When people talk about production, it was always equipment and multi-million dollar projects. So the reason why I think it just created so much inspiration was people saw every step along the way that we just started little by little and then just moved ahead slowly but surely, but always thinking about how to do it right from the start so that we can eventually become international. So that has been crazy in itself because it has been so challenging, just because obviously we are a developing country. When I made our lip balm, it seemed to be something so simple, but it had never been done before in Mongolia.
Wow.
And just the fact that, simple things like this can actually really help the economy and really create an impact was just so powerful for me, that along the way, the vision from just becoming a global, well recognized brand turned really into this philosophy of any entrepreneur in the world actually should try to be socially responsible, not after like all the other companies in our prior decades, after you've made profit, that you just donate something to somebody, but as a whole kind of business, that you should be environmentally friendly, you should be socially responsible, you should be responsible towards your employees, you should be respectful to the nature, etc. So I think along the way, when we started to get international recognition, it really showed that I think there's a new wave of entrepreneurs all around the world. and those entrepreneurs that really want to help also the society,
Mm-hmm.
even if we don't make money, which in itself is not really our goal. It's more of this goal of creating an impact.
Mm-hmm.
And we as Lhamour really want to, through our products, so the products are not the end goal, but through our products, use it as a means to share the philosophy of you have to love and respect yourself, you have to love and respect others, and you should love the environment.
Wow, that's such a powerful mission statement. That's amazing. And I know that will resonate so much with our followers because you're effectively, you're driving forward the global green beauty movement in your corner of the world and beyond now, because in how many countries are you selling?
So currently we started exporting to 5 countries.
Wow.
And hopefully by the end of this year, we are adding 3 more.
Oh my goodness. So you're going global, aren't you?
Well, we started our first export last year and we were just so amazed because all our distributors actually are not really those traditional distributors. They're more of the people that want to create social impact,
Mm-hmm.
and that used to be our customer and then turned into our distributor. So that has been crazy amazing.
That's so interesting that you're finding these like-minded individuals who want to share your message and share your vision and who are helping you drive the brand forward. How exciting. How many people work at Lhamour now? Because I remember last time we talked, it was in the 30s. What's happening? How many people work with you?
Yes, so we have moved for the fourth time from place to place. We have now 35 people and 3 stores.
Wow.
So we have really found to be, we are finding our ways to be very efficient. So within the 35 people, we are having now 3 flagship stores and 5 export countries. I mean, it's still very difficult because obviously we're not like Korean or Japanese brands that everybody in the world knows. It's really a fight for us to even get through to customers because nobody knows Mongolia. Nobody knows skincare from Mongolia or any kind of product from Mongolia, maybe some cashmere, but that's about it. So it is also a really tough thing to create this national identity first.
Mm-hmm.
But I think through our product, this is something that we are achieving one person at a time.
So how has Mongolia embraced Lhamour Skincare? Because obviously you're saying everyone outside of Mongolia doesn't necessarily know what Mongolia produces other than mining. But, how have the people in Mongolia actually embraced your products?
Well, it has been, as I mentioned, a roller coaster, but definitely in 2014, when in terms of business, when I first had the business idea, nobody really supported it because everybody was saying it's not the right time, it's too small of a thing to do, and why would you want to do lip balm? You graduated from an Ivy League school, and this whole mindset that business is all about big things, mining, cashmere, or anything,
Yeah.
So in terms of business, it was pretty difficult, but I really saw that there's a gap because there was no such products. And when I was doing the products with the Mongolian raw material, I could really see that there's such a great opportunity in using sea buckthorn, in using yak's milk that we use, like really, really extraordinary raw material that we can get straight from the herders, for example. So I did feel that there's a great gap, and it was really about problem solving. And I think that every business that tries to solve a problem and not just create fancy and nice products can eventually be successful, because so many people have allergy in Mongolia, so many people have skin problems, and it's even becoming younger and younger. So even babies are born with eczema and psoriasis, etc. So I think it did show the people that, first of all, Mongolia can do high quality products and not just because of the economic situation develop really cheap products. And it also, I think, gave a lot of hope to people. So Mongolia has been very, very supportive, even though it took us a long way through educational programs, through a lot of advice and through a lot of information, because people still don't know the difference between natural soap and synthetic soap. They don't understand what's a body butter, and they don't understand that the fact that natural skincare can go bad or can melt if you don't put it in certain situations. So it really took us a long time for the exact informational part. Mm-hmm. But I think in general, this whole a young person doing small things, but doing it kind of in the right way, really showed to Mongolia that it's possible, and it I think really created this wave of let's do something like this instead of trying to focus on large scale projects.
I know that a lot of our followers will identify with your message, because you're changing hearts and minds one person at a time. And this is something that we're having to deal with all over the world. And I know that some countries embrace naturals a little bit more than others now, because it's starting to really roll as a trend. But I know that a lot of people will be able to identify with your message. So you've gone from just you in your kitchen to 4 years later, 35 people, 3 flagship stores, 5 exporting countries. How is that? You know, how do you find that on a day-to-day basis?
Well, on a day-to-day basis, I don't find anything because obviously, I mean, in the world we live today where our attention span just lasts up until 30 seconds, and we have so much pressure because of social media. To the outside world, obviously, I try to create a very positive vibe. I changed, I think I grew as a person within the last 4 years, ever since having my own business, because once you give your first salary to somebody, once you realize that that salary actually makes an impact for a whole family, once you have your first customer that loves your company, and once you have your first customer that complains about your product, it really creates so much difference, I think, within yourself. That before, for example, when I used to work myself and just get salary, I had problems that, when I think about it now, are not even close to any problems that I currently face. So it really puts you into a different kind of perspective. It also, I think, lets you grow into somebody that really understands a lot about responsibility and how to make an impact in a true way. So to the outside world, I guess it does look very, very posh and very luxurious because of the few things I post, you know, the awards and I'm here, I'm traveling, and we just exported to that country. Yeah. But I keep on telling everybody, at the end of the day, 99%, I sit in my room trying to manage documents and planning. I go to my lab at night because I don't really work during the day in the laboratory. So once my people are gone, I do the formulation, etc., and the testing in my lab at night. So daily basis is just very, very tough, especially as an entrepreneur. And especially if you don't really have people that you can ask, you know, in your country or in your surroundings, because obviously the Formula Botanica community is so amazing, but it's just so far away. So that's why in countries that where you really have to make a change by yourself, it's quite tough. But on the other hand, seeing every struggle as a lesson and going through every struggle and taking it as a lesson to just grow, it really humbles you and makes you realize that, you know, those phrases like be the change you want to see in the world, or, you know, something like that, where before you used to think that's impossible, now you kind of think it is actually possible.
Well, that's very inspirational. And I recognize so much of what you say, because I'm the same. You know, I'm peddling behind the scenes all day long. And you don't share the bad things. You only share the good things, obviously. But you have so much good stuff to share. I mean, I've seen you come out with these amazing awards, and didn't you win Young Entrepreneur of the Year for the Asia Pacific region?
Yes.
That's so exciting. Can you tell us a bit more about that? How did that happen?
Yes, so that was one of our first international awards. We got nominated by the Mongolian Chamber of Commerce to take part in the competition, and it was a competition by 28 countries throughout Asia Pacific. And then they invited over the 5 most top ones. So I had to go to Taiwan. I had to pitch it to a jury of all the national chambers of commerces and the worldwide, the global chamber of commerce. And it was really about social responsibility and environmentally friendliness and creating creative solutions through very simple things, but that can make an impact. So at that time, I never thought that we would be even in the top 5, because obviously when you're an entrepreneur and when you just started, you're very scared about yourself. You don't think you're doing amazing things because you feel like everybody else in the world isn't doing amazing things. But I pitched to the jury, and after the pitch day, found out that we won, and it was really, really, yes, and got the award in front of 500 people from all around the world. So, I mean, that was, I think, one of those also sparking moments where you really feel like it's not about you anymore. So even if you're tired, even if you're exhausted, sometimes you have no idea what you're doing in life, and if your decisions are correct, you just feel that it's not about you anymore. It's just about the vision itself, and you as a person just have to be strong enough to fulfill that vision, because you see that so many people are behind you, supporting you, understanding you, and even if it's not even the majority, just the fact that there's a community that really understands what you're trying to do and says, okay, go ahead and just do it. Yeah. It really gives you this humbling kind of understanding, okay, you're on the right path, but you have to be strong enough and don't give up.
Wow. Powerful words. So I think we'll wrap it up there, because, I mean, this is such an inspirational story to hear. But before you go, can you give your one piece of advice to someone who wants to walk in your shoes?
Well, I think nobody should walk in my shoes. Everybody should walk in their own shoes, because that's what I keep on saying. I mean, life is just so rich. Just believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. As I mentioned, when I started 2014, nobody believed in me, but I couldn't care less, because I believed in what I believed. So if you have something on your mind, if you think it's the right way to do, just go ahead and do it. You have the rest of your life to figure things out anyway. So just go for it. Chase your dreams. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter, because you can still get a job anywhere in the world. But if it does happen, then it will forever change your life. So I really hope that everybody believes in themselves, believes in their dreams, and just goes for it.
I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining me for this interview. It's been a real pleasure to interview you face to face finally, and to hear more about your story. So if people want to follow you online, where can they find you?
So we do have a Facebook page, Lhamour Skincare. We are now developing newly our website, lhamour.com. We have Instagram, and if people want to connect with me, actually, I get a lot of requests from all over the world, from people that want to start skincare or just any other random entrepreneurs. Because I've been through it since the last 4 years, and because I know how difficult it is, I'm very much happy to help out. If anybody has any kind of doubts or questions, or just needs somebody to talk, you're free to message me on my personal Facebook. So please do that.
I'll put all the links up below this video. Thank you so much, Khulan. It's lovely to meet you, and thank you very much for your interview.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Bye.